Alright, so we got something a little bit different today. Hopefully the sound is a little bit better than that last video did on the no heat expedition. That camera I think is finally crapping out on me, using my spare. But we got my 37 Ford hot rod. It's a fiberglass Minotti body over a TCI frame, 502 Chevy, Turbo 400, 9-inch Ford. Pretty good little car. And other than when I had too much fun with it and put it in a ditch, we got that all fixed up. Paint match is effectively perfect. My local little shop here, actually right in my neighborhood, did a fabulous job. Thanks, Wyatt's. And repainting that and getting the fiberglass patched up, so it is perfect now. But several months back, I came out here to start it up, and the trunk wouldn't open. And this has an electric trunk actuator. It's got a switch inside. You push up, it goes up. You push down, it goes down. Fairly simple. But it had just not stopped working, or just stopped working. So with some really cautious prying and poking and prodding, I was able to disconnect this assembly from the trunk and get it open. I thought I had just had a wire get a little bad, because it sits a lot, so sometimes the connections go bad. But I had power and ground going to my actuator, and all it does is reverse. The switch just reverses power and ground, and this goes out or comes in. But I had power and ground, and this thing still doesn't work. So I'm thinking my actuator died. Now here's the fun part with a hand-built vehicle that was built 20 plus years ago. Some of the companies that were used to supply parts to build this thing may not exist anymore. And that's the issue I have with this actuator. So as you can see, it was made by Downs, who back in the day was a pretty well-known streetcar parts company, or street rod parts company, and they don't exist anymore. And they haven't existed for 10-12 years or so. So where am I going to find this actuator for this thing? That was a little entertaining. So I had to do a whole bunch of research and a bunch of digging, and I think I found it. Right here. LACT 6, because this is a 6-inch actuator. What it appears ish is a little bigger. We may have to get interesting. Is, well, Dakota Digital, if anything, is making a similar unit. Maybe not as similar as I thought. This is the first time I've put them next to each other. Comes with exactly the same switch, even with the same weird split side plug to make it work. So these plugs are obviously very different from those plugs, or from the plug on the original. So I'm assuming this is power and ground because it's black and red. Not quite sure what these other wires do, although we'll figure it out, because supposedly this thing has position knowing, whatever that means. Most of the time they show this thing being mounted vertically in the trunk and just pushing straight up. This is mounted under here horizontally and actuates a rocker over there with a spline, which then lifts the trunk. But this is going to get interesting, because this is a fair bit larger than the original. But this is the best I could do as far as trying to get something that was going to be similar. Because downs, again, they don't exist. Well, I got a couple of hidden screws to take off to get that panel out of the way. And then let's see what I'm going to have to do here. First, we're going to figure out the wiring to make it go in and out. And then we're going to figure out how we're going to have to mount it. I may end up having to move, well, I'm going to have to move this back piece back about 1.5 inches by the looks when I mount it. It's a little bit thicker, but I don't think that's going to be a clearance issue underneath the side panel here. But anyway, I'm going to start taking some of this apart, and we'll bring you back in when I find something interesting. All right, so I just checked again, and I do have positive, negative at this wire. The switch is working, and this is what that does. That actuator moves this, which turns the spline, which lifts the trunk. Unfortunately, this thing is a big honkin' weldment. Big piece of 3/4 inch square tubing, maybe, bolted into a couple of big sturdy braces, and that's where the back end of that actuator used to sit. So this ought to be entertaining, as I may need to completely refabricate this piece to push it back. But before we do that, I think what I'm going to do is, because I've got some adjustment on the spline, there's a little mark on there that my dad made so you can see where it was supposed to be lined up. I think what I may do to start is, at a minimum, see if I can get the wires to work and actually move the actuator. Because if I can't move the actuator, it doesn't really do me a whole hell of a lot of good to put it in. So I think that's what I'm going to do now. Read the instructions maybe, and try to get the actuator working. Alright, well, I was able to get this actuator to move. It's nice and quiet. By putting just power and ground to the red and black wires, and then flipping them. So positive 12 volts, negative 12 volts across those wires, and forward and backward she goes. So that's a bonus. Now, I think, because I have some adjustability in this thing, I'm going to try to use the same mounting. And because the actuator is going to move no matter what, and if I put this arm just in a different starting position, as long as it can rotate at the correct amount, it may be able to work without jacking with this mounting system. We're going to try that first. But first thing I'm going to do, since this thing didn't come with any connectors that work here, and it certainly doesn't work here, I think what I may do is cut this connector off the old one, butt splice it into this, and then I'll still have my plug-in connector, which should work with my old wiring. I think that's what I'm going to do right now. Alright, so we got that hooked up, and I don't know hard to see, but my little switch, yeah, you can't see it. But since out is down, I'm pushing down, she's going out. Pushing up, she's going back in. And it does. It has kind of a soft stop, which is neat. So I don't know what those other wires are for. I have no clue. Surely some other feedback, probably positional feed, probably actual position feedback if you're using this for some application in industry rather than opening a car trunk. But so now I'm going to try to remember how the hell this thing got assembled and kind of mount it in place and see what I can end up with. We'll find out. I pulled this part of the actuator out, which goes through that tube, and she's just welded. Not bad welds. Pretty heavy. I mean, that's some pretty gnarly stuff. That mounts there, no real issue. But now we're going to put this back in and see what happens. Yeah. Alright, what I've got is, when this thing is hooked up, in order to fully extend, it binds against the bracket. You can see that hole in there maybe. Doesn't quite line up. So, that's not cool. What I'm probably going to have to do, it's made with a piece of angle iron, interesting, is take this whole thing apart, eliminate this, drill through here, add a second bolt through that piece, and that would give me enough clearance to mount this thing and not have it bind up. I think that's the only way that I can see at this point to make this work and not tear itself up. So either that or I have to weld, basically cut this piece off, turn it 90 degrees and re-weld it. That would drop this hole down a good ways, and that might even be easier than rejiggering all of the mounting points, as interesting as they are. So I'm going to end up having to take that whole bracket out anyway. Hopefully there's no nuts in the back. Nope, seems to be threaded. Good. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that may be what I do. Break out the old cracker box and scab that poor thing together. The welds will not be as good as my dad's, but I'll bet I can make it stick. So that's next. Well, everything else looks pretty solid, but I gotta figure out a way to lower that little hole right there. Like I said, I think I'm gonna cut that off and flip it around so that it's welded on this end here, and that'll just drop that hole down. I'm thinking it might be enough. I'll probably have to test fit it, but I think that might be enough. So here we go. Alright, so we got her cut off and tacked in, assuming this works, and now it will extend all the way out without binding, which is kind of nice. So that's considered all the way down. We're going to cycle it now. And see if anything else binds up. Ooh, sounded pretty smooth that time. Yeah, got good clearance. It's still, I mean, it's not tight, but it's still fairly free. That's still pretty good. So extra grins, I think I'm going to attach the mechanism. See what happens. Okay, so I'm pleasantly surprised at this point. She's all the way in. Nothing looks to be binding. And that's actually the limit of the 6 inches. That worked out perfectly. So what I need to do now is disconnect it again, although I do have to make a new mark on the spline as I thought, because it's in a different position now. It's a slightly different position. But it does full stroke, open it, and close it. Yay! So now I'm going to pull the whole thing back apart and go finish welding that new bracket. Alright, well she's in, hopefully for the final time this time, and there's Easter eggs all over the inside of this car. I think this is Frank Corello, I think, his first name's Frank, out of Rhode Island, and he was the guy who did all the interior for Dad. Really nice job. It's held up extremely well, even with a butcher like me having to take it apart and put it back together. Extremely well thought out, really well done, and it's just been great. So if I got the name right, if you're still out there, I appreciate it. All finished. She's kind of dirty because it's been a while since I cleaned her up really good, but let's see. Thing of beauty. Now, the only thing I got left is to figure out where this damn transmission is leaking from. God, no matter what I do. Alright, let's see if we can get this poor old girl to start without stepping in the transmission fluid. She starts cold. There's no choke, because I don't believe in chokes. It used to be a choke, but something screwed up and it doesn't do much now, so I'll let the fuel pump run for a little bit. Come on. There she goes. Pump the gas enough and she'll eventually catch. It's about 64 degrees out today. If she'll idle with no choke. Probably not. That ain't too bad for not having a choke. Who needs chokes? Sit for a bit, warm up, get a little heat cycle on it, because it needs training fluid. It wouldn't move if I wanted it to right now. But that's going to be it. Hope you're all having a happy new year. See y'all next year.